Hello friends, this is this week's video. I'm getting really excited because next week at this time I will be uploading pictures of my back before from August to after, which will be next week. I have to admit I expected to do more with these 3 months than I actually did. At the beginning of the 3 months I started doing planks and push-ups and stuff like that. But then that quickly got to be a bit much for my frozen shoulder and I stopped doing them. I also was attempting to do an anti-inflammation diet, which I haven't stuck with at all. So what we will see in this 3-month progress photo that's coming next week will be entirely the result of me doing Pilates 3 times a week for 3 months. So that's good in and of itself. I expect it to be significant because I can get my arm much farther over my head than I could when I did the shots in August. And in August, I'd only been doing Pilates for 2 months and I was only doing a half an hour twice a week, I think. And then I started doing an hour, and then I started doing a half an hour 3 times a week in August. And then I switched to a full hour 3 times a week in September and October. So I'm feeling a lot stronger. I will be very, very surprised if there's not a significant change in my back because a lot of what you do with Pilates focuses on your latissimus dorsi, which is the muscle that pulls your shoulder blades down, which has been helping me free up my frozen shoulder, because if you pull up your shoulder blades down, there's less in your way when trying to move your arm. So I fully expect that there's going to be a significant difference in my back, particularly in my lats. I don't know if I'll see a difference in my arms. My left arm is still quite a bit bigger than my right arm because of swelling and fluid retention and all that kind of stuff. So my arms might look like Al, but I'm focusing on my back and I expect to see a significant change in my back. So really looking forward to that, finally. Not dreading it, but rather looking forward to it, and that's good. In other news, I have a bit of a scheme. I don't know if I mentioned last week that I'm moving in December, but the town I'm moving to is the town that has the yoga studio that I've wanted to join. And the reason I want to join it is because it's one of the only places in the area that has a whole curriculum of aerial yoga. Now, we're living in COVID times and they've not run aerial yoga classes since March because you'd have to launder the aerial silks after every single class, which clearly just too much. Or possibly the government regulations don't allow it. I don't know. I mean, you use other paraphernalia in yoga that you can normally just borrow from the studio, like blocks and straps and yoga mats. And the studio requires now that you bring your own, that you don't use theirs at all. So it's probably, you can't use, the government has said something about you can't use equipment that other people have used. You have to bring your own, and you can't bring your own yoga silks because it'd take you 2 hours to hang them up. So, but the fact remains that this yoga studio doesn't only do aerial, they do a whole full program. They own a whole building and they have 3 different studios. One is a hot studio and then all kinds of stuff. And they do outdoor things and meditation and just all kinds of things. It's really a very full service studio. So even though they're only running a few classes right now, the classes they're running are very basic, which I need right now because I can't do everything. And who knows, in January, hopefully I'll be able to do downward facing dog, but I don't know if I could do triangle pose on that side because I don't know if I can rotate onto my left arm. It might not be possible. So the good news is they have a basic yoga class every single day in the morning, which I haven't been out of the house every single day in the morning since 2007. And although I like very much working for myself, there's been a definite physical impact to not needing to leave the house every day. So when I move, one of the things that is going to be, I mean, many times over the years, I've tried to give myself a reason to leave the house every day, and nothing has really worked. I mean, for a while there, I was working on my friend's riding stable and going and mucking out stalls and everything. But reality is you're a volunteer, and if you don't go one day, nobody dies. And also it was pretty far to drive. I couldn't be there every single morning. But this yoga studio is literally a kilometer from my new house. So I can walk there in 10 minutes and do yoga every single morning. So I'm going to do that. And maybe we'll do, and I start on January 1st, and then we'll have a video on April 1st and see where we've gotten. Although I'm not really thinking about yoga in terms of fitness per se. I'm still going to do Pilates, but Pilates is later in the day, and I'll have to drive back down here to Earsall to do that. But yeah, I'm not looking at yoga as being fitness necessarily, just some reason to leave the house every morning, and kind of a wake-up thing, and just a couple of sun salutations, and just get my head on straight. I would like to do other things. There is a studio in Eindhoven, which I will be closer to, that does aerial silks, like circus arts stuff, which I really want to do. But the problem with that, of course, is at the moment, can't really, if I can put my arm over my head at all, I certainly can't pull myself up with both my arms. And when you're doing circus stuff hanging from a piece of silk, you kind of need both your arms to work. So I'm not, they have every 2 months, they have a tester class where you go in and you have 1 hour where you just get to try out all the equipment and see if it's something that you'd like to do. And they have, aerial hoops and poles and all kinds of stuff. So the tester class is actually next Sunday, November 8th, but I'm in no shape to pull myself up with my bad arm yet. So there'll be another one in the beginning of January, and maybe I'll be well enough then. And if there isn't, then there'll be another one in the beginning of March. So it's fine. But that's the plan. And the other thing I'm planning on doing, which hopefully I can start in January in my new house, is GMB Elements. GMB is a company that does fitness videos and fitness programs, but they approach things from a different direction to most. They're not do this many reps. They're not, circuit training. Their thing is bodily autonomy. And this comes out of the fact that the guys who founded the company are gymnasts who were injured. Or one of them's a gymnast who was injured, and one of them's a physiotherapist, and one of them's a martial artist. And they are middle-aged men now and recognize that they've retained a lot of physical autonomy because of what they did and what they kept doing with their bodies throughout their lives. So it's not about being able to do back handsprings off of a pole vault, or I don't know, pole vault, listen to me, off of a vault horse, but about being able to bend over to pick up your kids without hurting your back, or being able to reach under a couch to get the ball that the dog rolled under there or something. It's about being in middle age and being able to move through the world without harming yourself. So Elements is kind of a funny program that doesn't use weights, and it doesn't use the usual stretches or anything. It uses a couple of different exercises. One is called the bear, one is called the monkey, and one is called the frog, that you do for 30 minutes every day, different variations of them, and 4 times a week. And you get better at moving your body. You develop more poise and more control. And I remember when I was dancing, and even years after I stopped dancing for so many hours a day, I had a real sense of where I was in the world. And that has deteriorated. I walk into tables and things like this. And it's not just the walking into tables, it's the thinking, your brain remembers you can do something, so you try to do it, but now this body doesn't do it easily anymore. So I hurt myself, and I hurt myself a lot. And so I'm going to start doing the GMB Elements program with the intention, and it's an 8-week program, with the intention to reacquire my bodily autonomy so that I can do whatever I want to do and not hurt myself. Because it's not about doing exercises that make you a better mountain climber. It's about, well, it is. It's not about doing mountain climber exercises to be a better mountain climber. It's not about lifting weights. It's about doing these exercises that make you use your whole body and coordinate and get stronger and more flexible, so that whatever you want to do, you can do it more easily because you're in touch with your body and you know how to use your body. And one of my things is I want to be able to ground mount a horse. When I was a kid and riding horses, everybody ground mounted. Nobody used a mounting step. It just wasn't done. And then when I rode with my friends a few years ago, my friend who owned the riding stable, she insisted everybody used a block because she didn't want people pulling on her horses' backs, which is wise. If you have a riding stable, you don't want people to mess up your horses. But I couldn't ground mount. I couldn't bounce myself up onto a horse. And I want to be able to do that, because if I'm going to ride, if you have to get off in the woods, you don't know that you're going to find a convenient stump to stand on to get on your horse again. It's a safety issue, and it's also just I want to be able to get my fat ass off the ground. and it's not about having a fat ass, it's about having strong legs. So that's one of the things that I'm working towards. And among other things, I'm also tangoing. I'm going to be starting salsa at the end of November, which will be fun. And other stuff. So, and one more thing. Because I'm going to be going to yoga classes and all my yoga clothes are old and getting worn out, I've had an idea. And my idea is that I make a lot of patterns for sports clothes from the 30s. Why don't I get my tailor Ilsa to make me sports clothes from the 30s? So I'm going to have her make up some lounging pajamas that I can wear to yoga class, and some split skirts, skirts, if you will, from the 1930s, and matching tops that I can wear to fitness classes. And yeah, so I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen my thing about UBU and hikenaked. And hikenaked is all about not wearing the logos and the lycra and all this kind of stuff. And this is kind of in line with that. Why wear yoga pants when you could wear lounging pajamas? And really, they're the same thing, except yoga pants are made out of lycra and lounging pajamas are made out of something natural fiber. So, why not? And I might start a trend, or I might just start a bunch of people going, what the hell is she wearing? But, which is hashtag UBU. What the hell am I wearing? I'm wearing what I wear, because this is what I wear. So there we go. Still not really thrilled about having to move, but I'm going to move. We sign a lease tomorrow, and then it's all downhill from there. So that's good. So stay tuned. Next week, the big reveal. Very excited. And we'll see what happens then. Bye.